What a headshot! What a head!
How's it guys, this is Dayvy, FPL, and welcome back to the Fantasy Premier League video here on my channel. Now in this video, I'll be going through my team selection for the upcoming Game Week 35. Now this team selection is going to be slightly more important than usual, and the reason for that is that unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to do a deadline stream tomorrow before the deadline, so therefore my latest team is going to be the one that you see in the video. But don't worry though, I'll be going over all the possible scenarios, all the possible transfer plans at the end of this video, so make sure that you guys stick around for that. Now as with every team selection, I'll be going over the previous game week, double game week 34's team review. Now unfortunately, I'm also having to record this on Thursday evening before the Brighton vs United game, and therefore whatever happens in that game, I don't really know about. But luckily enough, we do have enough players to feature tonight that hopefully we won't get a red arrow, and it's basically a guaranteed green. So if you guys game week 34 went well, but if you guys want to see where I'm currently sitting at in terms of the overall ranks, as well as my transfer plan and team selection for the upcoming game week 35, sit back, relax, and let's get straight into it. So an update from the transfer plan that I recorded a few days ago is going to be that we're currently sitting at around the 96k mark after a little bit of a green arrow from about 100k. So a small green arrow because of that 99 points plus or minus 4, so therefore 95 points currently, but you still have 6 players to feature tonight in United vs Brighton. Now in terms of the upcoming transfer plan, 1 free transfer, 0.1 million left in the bank, so a sideways move or a downgrade is all that we can do. So let's go over the bench quickly because you guys have already seen this if you watch the transfer plan, but Kepa, Watkins, Botman, and then finally Greenwood. Greenwood was part of that kind of a 3 transfers, the -4 hit, and I downgraded Harry Kane to Greenwood for the funds. Now in terms of Kepa, he got us 3 points, Watkins 2 points, and then finally Botman with his 5-pointer, who outperformed his colleague Trippier, who was in the starting 11. Now going back to Kepa, let's bring in our starting goalkeeper, and what more needs to be said about Ederson and the fact that I was massively disappointed, benched last night in that West Ham win, and what do Man City do? They finally keep a clean sheet, but Ederson wasn't on the pitch. So would they have kept the clean sheet or not if Ederson was playing? Who kind of knows? Hasn't been the best kind of shot stopper this Premier League season, but for our FPL team, I would have loved the extra clean sheet points. So if you guys look at my kind of bench and my starting 11, yes, Kepa actually outperformed Ederson. Who would have thought? Definitely not me when I made this Ederson transfer. If you guys did make the Ederson transfer for a hit, that's super unlucky because just think on paper, if he did keep the clean sheet last night, would have been worth the -4 points, but obviously that wasn't the case. Now I do believe Ederson should be starting the upcoming games. I believe it was just a rest, don't really know why he was rested, doesn't even make saves in the games that he does play, but maybe his training that week was a little bit hectic. But do believe that he'll still feature in the upcoming games, so let's hold thumbs. Moving on to our back line, I've already spoken about Trippier with his 2-point appearance being outperformed by Botman on our bench with the assist, but he was the only single game week option in our team besides Ederson. We then have Luke Shaw kept a clean sheet at centre back in that first United game, and anything against Brighton is going to be bonus like a Stupinan. So both these two assets getting us some points in the first game. In the second game, I'm not holding too many thumbs for clean sheets, hoping they're quite attacking games, as I do own 4 attackers from their teams. Now the final asset that I can talk about is Trent Alexander-Arnold, who played last night in Liverpool's win against Fulham. Now Trent got no attacking returns but was close to getting a few. I love his new position in that midfield slot, has great positional awareness, creates so many chances, but last night it was going to be the clean sheet but also a bonus point. But I thought Trent overall has had a great game, and since moving into this new position has increased his threat going forward, which you love to see. So Trent was part of that kind of -4 hit, and I was super happy that I brought him in because the 11-pointer was well welcomed. Now moving into midfield department, going to start off with the United double up of Bruno Fernandes and then Rashford. Both have the game tonight. Hopefully both of them come out of that game uninjured after a few attacking returns. Now Bruno for me is definitely the differential at my current kind of rank. He's 16% effective owned, so if he does anything, I'm going to get a rank rise. Then in terms of Rashford, as you guys know, everyone kind of owns him, so definitely Bruno, I'm hoping for more points. Then moving on to Matoma and Solly March, disappointment continued with these Brighton midfielders. One started the game, one came off the bench, but both only got 1 point, as Solly March came off before the 60th minute. Now I do hope that both these assets play tonight, but even if they do start tonight, will they start in the upcoming Game Week 35? As it seems like there might be some rotation going forward for this Brighton team. So let's see what happens tonight, then hopefully they're starting Game Week 35. Then going on to our second Liverpool asset, it's going to be Mo Salah, 2 penalties in Game Week 34. Add a few bonus points from last night, taking him to 18 points, so if you guys did captain him, congratulations. Now Mo Salah completes that kind of a -4 hit. It was Trent in, Salah in, Greenwood in, Kane out, Saka out, and then Henry out, and as you guys know, Saka also blanked. So those transfers on paper looked pretty strong, and who said double game weeks are overrated? Now our final play in our starting 11 is going to be Erling Haaland, picked up a goal last night, and a few bonus points taking him to 16 points, and that was doubled to 32. So if you guys did captain Mo Salah, that was the better option to go for. Outscored Erling Haaland by 2 points, but I think the stress of captaining Salah over Haaland, don't know if it was worth it. But as you guys can see, pretty kind of grey arrow at the moment. Yes, it was a green arrow of about 6k places, but hopefully tonight, with 6 options still to come, we do end up getting an even bigger green. Now you guys will know what happens obviously tomorrow when you guys are watching this video, but hopefully all my players return. You guys can let me know in the comments down below now that the game week has concluded as you guys are watching this video. How big was the green arrow? How big was the red arrow? Where are you currently sitting in the overall ranks? Now before we get on to the actual transfer plan for the upcoming game week, I want to show you guys the team with no transfers made, as there is quite a big possibility that I actually don't make a transfer for this game week. So I'm going to start off on the bench. I'm benching Kepa, Luke Shaw, Botman and Greenwood. Now Luke Shaw is the only kind of difference from the transfer plan I released a few days ago. Now I'll explain the Luke Shaw benching when I do go over my defensive department, but I just believe at his current centre back position against West Ham away, the high ceiling isn't necessarily there in terms of the attacking threat. So I think the max you'll get from Luke Shaw is probably a clean sheet and maybe 1 or 2 bonus points, and that's how I decided to go for the defence I have. Now in terms of Botman against Arsenal, simple no-brainer there, and with Greenwood against Man City, he probably won't even get 1 point, so he's firmly third on my bench. Now let's talk about our goalkeepers. Kepa against Bournemouth away, Edison against Leeds at home. You guys would have seen the ultimate guide yesterday that Bournemouth's attacking stats are the 6th best over the last 6 game weeks. Now Chelsea's defence isn't that bad, but I don't really trust Chelsea at the moment under Frank Lampard, and he's currently on for the 007. So Frank Lampard, James Bond in disguise, that's definitely going to mean that I do bench Kepa, and I do prefer Edison's fixture against Leeds at home. Now will Edison start? I do believe so. I think he was kind of rested. It was a little bit of a free kind of rest that he did get in double game week 34. So if he starts the games remaining. Now yes, Leeds are kind of in a relegation battle, are usually quite an attacking side, but Man City's defensive stats are always pretty strong. Now moving into the defensive department, I've got Trent against Brentford at home. We saw that Brentford's attacking stats aren't actually that great over the last 6 game weeks, which was a little bit surprising to me. Now, no, I'm not saying that Liverpool will keep a clean sheet here. Liverpool's defense is pretty bad, but with Trent's new position, I do trust the attacking threat. Now we're going to go on to the option that is currently benching Luke Shaw. It's Kieran Trippier. I know what you guys are thinking. Why am I playing the Newcastle defender that hasn't got a return in the past couple of game weeks? Well, the reason I am benching him is I don't own any kind of Arsenal attackers. Therefore, I do opt at Arsenal blank. And Trippier does offer some attacking threat going forward. So my current thinking is the fact that Trippier has a higher ceiling than Luke Shaw because he is a fullback. Now you guys might agree with me, might disagree with me, put in the comments down below, but on paper, I feel like Trippier might be the punt to go for. Then the final option is Stupinan, who maybe Luke Shaw comes off for, because with that Brighton rotation, no one is safe. But Everton at home is too hard of a fixture to ignore. Everton aren't the best attacking side, yes in a relegation battle, but I do trust Brighton's defence and Stupinan's attacking threat. So I've decided to go for the 3 fullbacks in terms of my back 3, so hopefully Luke Shaw doesn't get too many points there. Now moving to midfield department, I've got the double ups. We're going to go over the United double up first. Bruno and Rashford, West Ham away. Now I'm actually fine with this fixture. I feel like United still have to win games to actually solidify the top 4 spot, and West Ham aren't in the best of form. Now we saw in the midweek that they actually rotated quite heavily against Man City. Will they do the same on the weekend? I don't think so, but they might. But because it is a home game, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a full starting 11. But I still believe that United should at least score a goal in this one, so hopefully Bruno scores it and Rashford gets the assist. The next up, our Brighton double up in midfield of Matoma and Solly March, the double M's. Now as mentioned with the Stupinan, no one's safe from this Brighton rotation, but I just hope that these 2 assets do start this one because it's a great game on paper. Everton's stats from a defensive point of view are simply terrible, the worst defense over the last 6 game weeks, and you guys know that Brighton's attacking stats are so strong. So they could even be campsy considerations if Erling Haaland doesn't play, as this game could be an absolute whitewash. Then our final midfielder, Mo Salah against Brentford at home. Not the best game on paper. Brentford actually defending pretty well at the moment, and Mo Salah's just winning penalties at the end of the day. But I still trust the Liverpool attack at home at Anfield. They put up pretty good stats, and he's probably my vice captain. Now finally moving to the forward department, the main man, Erling Haaland, going to put the Campsy armband on him already because if he does start, if we get news that he does start, definitely the best option in the game. I'm going to accompany him with Ollie Watkins playing 2 up front. Wolves away, not the best game on paper, but Ollie Watkins and Aston Villa expect them to rebound from this loss against United, as before that they were super consistent. But now reflecting on the starting 11, yes, maybe Trippier out for Luke Shaw, that could be a change that I go for, but on paper, the team looks really respectable, so I don't have to make a transfer if not required. But as mentioned throughout the videos this week, we have 4 game weeks left in the season, it might be worth taking a punt. So going on to the transfer plan, and my transfer plan this week is heavily dictated by one team sheet. It's going to be the Man City early team news. So what I'm assuming here is that we do get early team news. Listen, we might not. The sources might not be providing enough information, but because we got news about Kevin De Bruyne in Game Week 34, I'm expecting maybe some news about the Game Week 34 team sheet. So the two options are highlighted in the ultimate guide are going to be Alvarez, and he has an ownership of 1.81% within the top 100k, and then Foden with 0.18% in that same ranking. Now for my own team, it makes more sense to go for an Alvarez over a Foden, as I'm more likely to lose an Ollie Watkins than any of my midfielders currently in my starting 11. But I'll talk about that a little bit later on, but for now, let's focus on Alvarez in that forward position. Now I want to take a step back, or at least a step forward, to Game Week 36. As you guys know, Newcastle have a double game week of Leeds and then also Brighton, and one of their strikers will probably be my captain. So the move that I'm planning to use in Game Week 36, if I bank a transfer this week, if I don't bank a transfer, is Ollie Watkins out for probably Callum Wilson. Now this could be Isaac, this could be Callum Wilson. I'm going to give myself one game week of information to see who starts against Arsenal, and then we take it from there. But the move I planned for Game Week 36 was Ollie Watkins out for Callum Wilson, so what I could do is use an extra transfer this week and actually bring someone else in before doing the switch. So that switch, as we previously mentioned, will be Alvarez in. This will be for an extra free transfer, but in terms of my transfer plan, it's either doing this move or a punt for Game Week 35 or having two free transfers for the last game week of the season, Game Week 38. So just spell out my transfer plan for you. If I bank a transfer this week, I would then do Isaac in or Wilson in for Ollie Watkins. I then have two free transfers going to Game Week 37. I would then probably bring in a Ruben Diaz with one of those free transfers for Man City's double game week. Then come Game Week 38, I'll have two free transfers. I can take a punt if I want to, or absorb any team news that we do get. So that's why I mentioned it's either two free transfers in Game Week 38 or taking a punt this game week on someone like an Alvarez. Now obviously I'll only do this move if we do get early team news about Alvarez actually starting, otherwise I'll probably just stick with the team I have. Another thing I want to factor in is that if we do get news that Erling Haaland will be benched, Alvarez will probably be my captain as long as he is confirmed to start. I just believe that Man City vs Leeds game is too hard to ignore, it's too good of a game to actually miss, and I honestly think that game has the highest ceiling. So what I want to do now is, because I'm not doing a deadline stream tomorrow, I want to show you guys the final team selection if I make a move or if I don't. So obviously if I don't make a move, this will be the team on paper. If we get news that Erling Haaland's out, then I will be making a transfer anyways, but if he does start as projected, then this will be the team. Now I think the only piece of news that will actually force my hand to a transfer is if we do get news that Erling Haaland's benched, then I might do the Alvarez move. But let's just say that even if Erling Haaland does start and Alvarez is confirmed to play, then I could do the switch of Ollie Watkins to Alvarez with one move. So then this will be the team that you guys do see on screen, but if you do get news that Haaland's going to be benched, then the camp will be on either Mo Salah or Alvarez. But don't worry, I'll update you guys on my Discord server and my Twitter page, so make sure that you guys are on both of those locations. But you can drop any comments down below or on my Discord server where I'm slightly more active if you have any transfer dilemmas or team selection problems. Hopefully it's going to be a massive Game Week 35 for us, and we're going to get even closer to that top 50 or top 10k. But this is basically going to wrap up the video, guys. Hope you did enjoy it. Please don't forget to like if you did, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Unfortunately, as mentioned, no deadline stream tomorrow, but I will update you guys over on Twitter and on Discord. But I'm going to sign off. This has been Dayvy FPL, and I'm out. Cheers, bye.